Bracketing in photography is when you take more than one exposure in exactly the same place of exactly the same scene. It normally consists of 3 photos, but can be made up of 5, 7, or even 9 photos. It's basically where you will take an underexposed photograph, a properly exposed photograph, and then an overexposed photograph. And most cameras nowadays have a dedicated bracketing setting. Now this may sound like a weird way of doing things, but you're basically collecting data of that scene. Then afterwards, if you have the right software on your computer, it will take those 3 images and blend them together. From the underexposed image, the highlights will have a good exposure. From the overexposed image, the shadows will have a good exposure. Then it will combine these bits together with the properly exposed image to form a final image with much more detail and dynamic range than normal. So instead of having a shot where your highlights are completely white, or as it's known in photography, blown out, there will still be details in those highlights. And then in the shadows, instead of them getting noisy or losing details in those really dark shadows, those details will still be there again. Then with this final image that your computer has built from these 3 or more different exposures, with a bit of creative editing, you can make the image look a lot better than it would from just one photo from your camera. And especially if the dynamic range is huge in the shot that you've chosen. Now, if you want to learn everything about bracketing, click on this video next. I go into a lot more detail and show you exactly how it's done. And if you want to learn some tips on landscape photography, click on this video down here. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for weekly tutorials in photography. I'll see you next time.